How's it going? This is Hoiman, and today we're taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Cure Passion figure. So you have a nice window to see the figure, and then the box is a nice pink and red color scheme. Looks really nice. Then the window continues to the top, and then on the sides you have pictures of the figure, and then you have legal stuff on the bottom. And then for the back, you have some nice pictures of the figure, and then also advertises the other figures in this line. And then to open the box, just lift open the side flap. And then lift open the front cover. And there's the figure all together with her accessories. So here's the actual figure, and although this is one of the earlier figures in the line, I still feel that the overall sculpt and look of the character still looks pretty nice for the most part. So looking closer at the face, I feel that they really captured the likeness of the character. And then moving down to her clothes, it's all nicely sculpted for the most part. And for the most part the paint is pretty clean, but there is some kind of paint bleed from the white to the red, but it's not too noticeable. And again, for the most part, it's very clean in all the really small areas. And looking at her hair as well, very nicely sculpted. Fades from a lighter pink to a darker shades towards the end. You can see all the strands of hair as well. And it's even sculpted on the inside as well, although you can see the seam line where it was molded. But since it's on the inside, it isn't really too noticeable. As for articulation, the neck is on a double ball joint, so she can look down about that much, and this is probably the first PreCure figure in the line where the hair is a bit back heavy, and because it's a solid piece, it does weigh down her head quite a bit. So even if you try to make her look down, she'll just weigh down to look up. But she can look up, but it's really restricted due to the sculpt and hitting against the figure, so she can't really look up all that much. But she can tilt her head side to side and also twist. And then the shoulders, this is probably my main gripe with the figure, is that although the shoulder is on a ball joint and then it can rotate around the torso, this shoulder pad here is on a hinge, so you can move that out of the way to allow for the arm to go out to the side, which is nice. But when you try to move them forward, it makes this shoulder piece really stick out and it just looks quite odd. So I think it would have been a nice choice if this piece was actually attached to the shoulder, which they do in future figures, but because this is an older figure, I guess it's like quite understandable why it was like that. But she can also move her arm back, and then she does have the bicep swivel, and then she's got single jointed elbows, and then ball jointed wrists, and then her torso is on a single ball joint, so she can lean forward about that much, lean back that much, tilt side to side and also twist. And then this piece is actually a separate piece which kind of rotates around the torso, so it does allow for a bit more movement. And then for the legs, they're on hinges, and then for the legs they're on ball joints, but because of this whole skirt is one big solid piece, it does restrict a lot of her leg movement. But she can kick out to the side about that much, and then kick forward that much, kick back that much, and then can also have the thigh swivel, and then she's got single jointed knees. And then for her ankles, this piece is a softer material, so it gets out of the way for the ankle articulation, so you can go back about that much, forward that much, tilt side to side and also twist. So for the most part, she has all the articulation you'd expect the Figuarts to have. But due to the design of the shoulders and the large skirt and also the heavy hair on the back, a lot of her articulation is kind of restricted. But for the most part, you should be able to get all the poses that you'd want. That's the figure. Let's take a look at the accessories. So for faces, she comes with a natural staring face. She also comes with a smiling face. And then a shouting face as well. And this is another gripe with me, is that because it's an older figure, to swap out the face, you have to take out the entire hair, which can be difficult and tedious. But for the most part, it does work. For hands, she comes with a pair of open palmed hands, 2 fists, 2 hands to form a heart, but I feel it would have been nice if it was one solid piece, just because it's quite difficult to pose when they're separate. 1 hand to hold her weapon, 1 pointing hand, and then 2 posing styled hands. She also comes with a weapon, which is nicely sculpted and painted. And then finally, she does come with a display base, which works for the most part. So just attach this piece to her ankle, and then that will help her stand, but you can't really do any dynamic poses with this base. So my final thoughts are, if you're a huge fan of this character or the show itself, then I highly recommend this figure. Although it's an older figure, like I already mentioned, the sculpt and joints and proportions may look a bit off due to its older release, and the restricting in the hair and the skirt and the shoulders on the articulation can be a bit restricting, but for the most part she's a nice looking figure and it's a very accurate representation of the character. And that's my review. Thank you for watching and enjoy some pictures.